I'm Kara Busmeyer, and I would like to introduce my Aunt Debra Baker and her meditation.
Hello and welcome to my meditation. My name is Debra Baker, as my niece just mentioned, and I'm so grateful that you've joined us for this little while. Before we get started, I wanted to mention something. I'm going to share some of the things that I have purchased over the last couple of years going to Tucson. I used to have a rock and jewelry store years ago called Amazing Rocks and Jewelry in Overland Park, Kansas, and I'm very much in tune because of my work to which rocks and minerals are most supportive of our goals and who and what we want to be. And so today I have a couple of selenite palm stones, and so I love these things so much. Let's see, can it focus? There we go, maybe. Okay, so you can see it's kind of, there's a like a grain or something running through them. They're really, really awesome. And let me see if I can get my camera. Okay, there we go. So I have these for sale in my home, or when people come to see me, but they're just $10 a piece. And what I hold them in my palms, they're just the perfect size for meditation. And they also are just calming and soothing. And so the mineral selenite is number 2 on the hardness scale. And so they're very literally soft, and also they feel very soft and very soothing, and they clear energy. So I have a bowl, which I actually have a few left to sell, a bowl made out of this selenite. And every night when I take off my gemstones, or my bracelets, if I'm wearing some gemstone bracelets, I put them in the bowl, and the bowl clears the energy if I may have picked up some energy throughout the day, or if I may have been, felt some angst myself. So anyway, that's my quick message, and now let's get started with our meditation, shall we? So let's begin with our 3 nice, really deep breaths. Hold it for a moment, and then release it really slowly. And then breathe in a little more deeply this time. Really fill up your belly, your rib cage, and then now take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Really fill up your lungs, your belly. Imagine breathing all the way down into your tailbone. Just fill up your back. And just hold it for a moment. Feel your muscles and your skin of your back stretch out. And then release it really slowly and deliberately. Now I invite you to allow your breath to continue to deepen and slow down just a little. So the idea is you slow your breath down just a little, not so much so that it's uncomfortable. So you slow it down just enough so it's still comfortable. And what will happen with that is your heart rate will slow down just a little. And your brain is automatically shifting to the brain wave of meditation. So as you may know, I had a birthday last week, and my family and friends threw a really big surprise party for me. My 3 daughters and husband especially, and family came in from all over the country, and friends, and I was just so grateful and so blessed. And so I had lots of wonderful conversations, and even leading up to it. And so my birthday co-celebrant Tam was talking to me about, her background is theater and theater education, and she said one of the things that they do in when you're doing improv is that you never say yes but, or shut down. The idea of improv is continuing the dialogue. So you say yes and And I just really got to thinking about it, and I feel like my guides were just pointing me to that idea throughout the last week. Yes, and so that tells us two things. The yes means I accept that everything is exactly as it should be, as it needs to be, as it's supposed to be, as I need it to be. So I'll be quiet for a moment and we'll just think about that yes. What that means is, thank you, God. I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you, God. I wouldn't have it any other way. Acceptance is truly the key to peace and serenity. Accepting things exactly as they are. And it's interesting, as you get older, you reach more of an acceptance that someday this human experience is going to be complete, is going to be over, and we'll begin our next adventure. But a young person doesn't want to accept that, and understandably, because they feel like they've got so much life, so much human life experience ahead of them. But when you get to be older, you realize, and you see some of your friends or your friends' spouses pass away, and you realize this is a finite adventure. It doesn't go on in this human form. And that's probably the good news, because we can appreciate it. And, if you think about it, like going on vacation. There are a lot of places that I love to vacation that I wouldn't want to live. I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to, even be there for a very extended period of time, but I love being there on vacation. Take an island, for example. I love visiting islands, and really make the most of it and just thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. But this Cancer person needs to go home. And even if I had my home on Hawaii, if I didn't have my family and friends there with me, it wouldn't be home. So just think about the human experience and how much we treasure so much. We treasure our loved ones and the experiences that we've had so far and the experiences we're going to have going forward. Yes. And meaning there's more. But there's more in this human experience. To quote Richard Bach from, I believe it was his book Illusions. If you're wondering if your mission on earth is complete, if you're alive, it isn't. And as a 21-year-old, when I read that, I thought that was so profound. and yet there's still some real depth to those words. And I've had the privilege of being with a few people toward the end of their lives, and to get to talk to them about, or get to see for their benefit of their families, well, they're not complete. Something hasn't happened yet that they need to happen before they can let go. And so I invite you to think, and what? And what is the next adventure? I have found for the last, I would say most of my life, that I always thought of life as an adventure. And that's not to say that I didn't have some truly horrible moments, like all of us do, or years. And yet, it's what you focus on. And when I'm around people who say the world is, going to, ruins, and it's a terrible time to live, I feel such great sympathy for them, because there are, negative things happening. There always will be. We're human beings. But there are also so many wonderful things happening. So I invite you to think, what is your and? Yes, and what do you want to do next? What would you like to experience? I invite you in the next week to just write down 5 things. What would you like to do next? It may be, eat at a restaurant you've never eaten at, or eat a food you've never eaten, or try ballroom dancing, or take a cooking class, or a painting class, or, renew an old friendship, or make a new friend. When we open our eyes wide to the universe, we see so much there, so much that is ours for the taking. Yes, and isn't that just exciting? And what? And partly we get to decide, and partly the universe blesses us with so many surprises, so many wonderful surprises. Yes, and I invite you to consider what the and is. Yes, and what's next? Because something wonderful is about to happen. Don't miss it. Keep your eyes wide open and watch for it, because it's yours. It's asking for the taking. Let's take one more nice, really deep breath and let it out. And promise ourselves that we are going to have wide eyes this week and see the adventure, see the opportunity, see the wonderful things that lie ahead. And then at the end of the day, maybe take a moment to relax and just be present to ourselves and the universe. So thank you so much for joining me, and I invite you to have a wonderful week and to stop back next week. And I want to remind you that you are whole and perfect, exactly as you are, in the one presence, the one power, moving in, through, and as me, honors and recognizes the one presence moving in, through, and as you. Namaste.